Today's news highlights. Date March 26, 2025. News highlights in Taiwan. Liu Jinya, who advocated the reunification of Taiwan by force, was revoked by the Immigration Department and left the country within a time limit. On the 25th, she held a press conference in front of the Ministry of the Interior, claiming that she advocated peaceful reunification, but in the afternoon she bought a ticket and prepared to leave Taiwan. Interior Minister Liu Shifang believes that this case involves legal warfare, public opinion warfare, and psychological warfare. Yaya emphasized that she hoped to leave innocently and come back. Kuomintang legislator Wang Hongwei called for human rights and law enforcement. Another Chinese internet celebrity criticized Yaya Lane public opinion and called on the Immigration Department to enforce the law strongly to avoid affecting Taiwan's social stability. News highlights the United States is diplomatically pushing for a new ceasefire and safety of navigation agreement on the Russia-Ukraine war, especially for stability in the Black Sea region. However, Russia still insists that the United States pressure Ukraine to make concessions before it is willing to accept the new agreement, which makes the situation still uncertain. News highlights Missouri Attorney General Bailey announced that it will enforce a U.S. court's judgment on a $24 billion COVID claim against 9 Chinese Communist Party entities, and plans to confiscate Chinese-funded farmland and assets. The case ruled in favor of Michigan due to China's absence in responding to the lawsuit, accusing the CCP of hoarding protective equipment, causing serious losses to the state. Bailey emphasized that assets will be seized and sold under the Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act to compensate Michigan residents. The move could affect U.S.-China relations and push more states to restrict Chinese-funded farmland holdings. News highlights generative AI promotes the evolution of smart devices, and Qualcomm and Dai have launched the Dragonwing Edge AI platform and the world's smallest MCU respectively to seize the terminal AI market. Qualcomm emphasized that AI will become the core interface of devices to facilitate digital transformation. Dai is targeting miniature devices and attacking the medical and wearable markets with high integration and low cost. In 2025, the shipment of Edge AI devices is expected to exceed 1 billion units, and AI will penetrate into daily devices from the cloud and reshape the semiconductor market pattern. News highlights Taipei Mayor Zhang Wanren announced that because the Mansion Ring has been the first hotspot in North City for 7 consecutive years, it has been decided to demolish it and change it to an intersection. Deputy Mayor Li Sichuan said that the underpass for buses will be filled because the underground facilities cannot be removed. The project involves major transportation arteries such as Keelung Road and Roosevelt Road, and the city government will properly plan the construction schedule to reduce the impact. After several months of evaluation, the council has made repeated requests for improvements, and the final resolution has been made to fill in the underpasses to improve traffic safety, and the budget will be implemented in accordance with the procedures. News highlights recently, retail investors have continued to pour into U.S. equities despite concerns about Trump's policy cuts, with net inflows of $67 billion this year, close to $71 billion in the fourth quarter of last year. Despite the tariff risk and AI competition, retail investors remain optimistic, with Reddit forum Wall Street Bets even advocating buying more and buying more. The S&P 500 fell 2% at the start of the year and tech stocks tumbled 8%, but recently rebounded 1.8% in anticipation of tariff adjustments. Retail investors bought Tesla and Nvidia shares aggressively last week, while institutional investors cautioned against the risk of overheating the market. News highlights ASUS previously raised 5.351 billion yuan of bad debts due to the delay in payment by Indian customer Yada, which led to an 87% drop in profit in the fourth quarter of last year. Recently, ASUS confirmed that the customer had paid for the goods on March 24, and the subsequent accounting processing will be handled in accordance with regulations. The legal person expects that after the backflush of this fund, the financial report will return to fundamentals. Looking ahead, ASUS expects the PC and server business to recover in the second quarter, benefiting from the replacement of RTX 50 graphics cards and Windows 10. The PC business growth is expected to outperform the market average, and the server business will continue to grow. News highlights in 2025, the license tax will be levied on April 1, increasing the number of vehicles and taxes by 2.2% and 0.7% respectively. Car owners will receive tax bills in late March, which must be paid by April 30, and late fees will be levied after overdue, up to 10% of the tax payable. Some vehicles, such as vehicles for the physically and mentally handicapped and electric vehicles, are exempt from tax. Since the implementation of the tax exemption policy for electric vehicles in 2021, the number of tax-exempt vehicles has increased to 97,000, and the tax exemption amount has reached 2.5 billion yuan. Those who have not received the tax bill can pay through the website of the Ministry of Finance or the supermarket supplement, and the vehicle that has not been used for a long time should apply for suspension or scrapping to avoid continuous taxation. News highlights Alibaba's co-founder and chairman Zhou Tsai said on the 25th that the pace of global data center construction has exceeded the initial demand for AI, especially in the United States, where many data center investments overlap, leading to the risk of a bubble in AI data centers. He pointed out that many construction projects start raising money without identifying customers, which can be a sign of blind development. Tsai was alarmed by the huge US investments in AI and warned that they are not entirely necessary. He pointed out that many investors are investing based on forecasts of future demand, and said that mainland companies are also actively investing in data centers and AI, and Alibaba plans to invest more than 380 billion yuan in the next 3 years. The remarks sparked concerns about the AI bubble in the market, and the AI community in Taiwan stocks weakened yesterday, and Nvidia's stock price also fell. News highlights recently, Huang Liman, the attending physician of the Department of Pediatric Infectious Diseases of National Taiwan University Hospital, was revealed to be suspected of having an affair and giving birth to a child, which attracted social attention. Huang Liman was a consulting expert at the Central Epidemic Prevention Command Center during the COVID-19 outbreak and an authoritative figure in pediatrics at National Taiwan University. According to a report by Yiping News, Huang Liman's behavior in personal life has attracted attention, and it has been reported that he often picks up and drops off a boy about 8 or 9 years old from school, and has intimate interactions with the boy and his family, and even has dinner together. These behaviors appear intimate and look like a family. News highlights a mountain disaster occurred on the western peak of Hehuan Mountain, and the body of a mountain friend surnamed Chen was found 3 days after he went missing. He is the moderator of the Facebook fan section Outdoor Equipment Research Institute, and has been sharing outdoor sports equipment testing and experience for a long time, benefiting many people. Fans mourned under his last post, thanking him for his contribution to the gear circle. Chen Nan was also the moderator of PTT Outdoor Equipment Edition, which has had a profound impact on the field of mountaineering and outdoor equipment in Taiwan. News highlights on the 25th, K. Jianming, the chief of the DPP Legislative Yuan Caucus, broke down emotionally and smashed with a cane because he was dissatisfied with the parliament's handling of the Kuomintang proposal, and after the crutch broke, he hit Su Qiaxin, a member of the Kuomintang legislature, causing a blunt injury to her right elbow. Su Qiaxin posted on Facebook to criticize K. Jianming's uncontrollable emotions, questioning whether he was suitable for the ruling party's general call, and said that fortunately, the crutches did not poke his eyes. She emphasized that there was no verbal altercation with K. Jianming during the whole process, and reminded him not to knock on crutches. News highlights actor Zhao Junya once again reported a domestic violence scandal and was accused of domestic violence by the 8 o'clock actress Wu Wanjun. Wu Wanjun accused Zhao Junya of choking her neck after an argument in the car, causing injuries, and called the police to deal with it. Zhao Junya has a record of domestic violence in the past, including being arrested for violence in the United States and was accused of assaulting his ex-girlfriend in 2021. After the incident was exposed, Zhao Junya's Facebook fan page was closed, and Instagram was bombarded by a large number of netizens' comments. News highlights actress Yang Qinbi divorced Hong Jiejia, the second generation of the textile industry, in January this year, and was recently revealed to be in love with building materials Zhao Kai Jeremy. The two met after the wedding and interacted intimately at Miriam Yang's birthday party. In this regard, Yang Qinbi publicly clarified, reprimanding the report of Mirror Weekly as false, and said that he would defend his rights in accordance with the law. She strongly responded to the long-term fabrication of false reports by the media, which has caused distress to life, and warned that if there are any more false reports, she will be prosecuted. News highlights Liu Peiyai was revoked by the Taiwan Immigration Bureau for his remarks on military reunification on Duyan and left Taiwan on the 25th. Netizens revealed that some Liu pairs were dissatisfied with Yaya, saying that her behavior also implicated Liu Pei, who lived a low-key life. The original post shared with the neighbor's wife Liu Pei, saying that they usually live a low-key life and do not openly discuss cross-strait issues, and believes that Yaya's remarks may be aimed at attracting the attention of the Communist Party. Netizens also believe that Yaya's behavior will make other mainland partners disgusted in Taiwan. News highlights a man in the Carolina, who is frequently spotted with black bears in his backyard, has the whimsical idea to scare away uninvited guests by wearing a cartoon-style brown bear costume. In the film, the man slowly approaches the black bear in a bear suit, mimicking the bear's movements and making a low roar, and finally succeeds in driving the black bear away. While this was a success, experts caution that approaching wild animals is extremely risky and should not be imitated. News highlights in 2025, the global semiconductor industry will be turbulent, and large manufacturers such as onsemi, Microchip Technology, NXP, and ST Microelectronics will lay off more than 10,000 employees in the first quarter due to weak market demand. In response to market changes, companies are scaling back and adjusting their strategies. Intel's expansion plans have been thwarted, and the semiconductor industry has shifted from a capacity race to a cash flow priority. Analysts believe that the industrial recovery still depends on inflation and subsidy policies, and it remains to be seen whether it can pick up in the second half of 2025. News highlights today's weather is clear to cloudy, only Taitung and Hengchun Peninsula have scattered brief rain, southwest winds strengthened, and the temperature rises, reaching a high temperature of 33 degrees. The front passed on Friday, the northeast monsoon strengthened, and it cooled down and rained everywhere, and the drop was significant in the north, and the temperature dropped below 20 degrees in the evening. From March 29 to April 1, the northeast monsoon continued to influence. The north, northeast and east were cool, with brief rain in some areas, and a large temperature difference between day and night. News Highlights actor Wu Wanjun broke the news that she was abused by Zhao Junya, and issued a statement through her lawyer, alleging that she had been subjected to emotional blackmail and verbal violence for 9 months, which eventually turned into a physical conflict. Zhao Junya then posted a long article admitting that he was rude, expressing remorse, and expressing his willingness to bear legal responsibility and face his own problems. The incident has aroused concern, and the issue of domestic violence has once again become the focus. News Highlights: the death of South Korean actress Kim Se-rong continues to burn, and on the 25th, the Hengzi Research Institute disclosed the information provided by her family, confirming that she had married in the United States on January 12, 2025, and posted a marriage certificate. Her husband's statement pointed out that the two have known each other since November 2024 and decided to get married in a short period of time, but they eventually separated due to distance and personality differences, and denied rumors from the outside world, such as domestic violence and pregnancy, and called on the outside world to stop spreading false news. News Highlights: studies have shown that food packaging may contain invisible poisons (PFAS), and 7 of the 8 products submitted for inspection in Taiwan were detected, including plant fiber lunch boxes and microwave popcorn bags. PFAS are waterproof and oil-resistant, but they are difficult to decompose and tend to accumulate in the environment and the human body. National Taiwan University research found that PFAS in children's blood may affect liver metabolism. Experts call for attention to the health effects of PFAS and the avoidance of overexposure to related products. News Highlights: supermarket bread contains fatty acid glycerides and maltodextrin, but experts say that they are legal additives and are harmless when consumed in moderation. Fatty acid glycerides improve taste, maltodextrin accelerates fermentation, and it's flour that really affects blood sugar. Supermarket bread can be stored for 2-3 days, mainly due to modified atmosphere packaging and sealing technology, not preservatives. Bread is a delicately processed food and should not be used as a staple food for a long time, so it is recommended to alternate with whole grains to maintain nutritional balance. News Highlights: Hualien County Government Household Administration personnel involved in the investigation and verification of Fu Kunking's dismissal of the signatory's personal information, and were investigated and interviewed by the Procuratorate. Hualien Household Affairs Director Chung Weiting paid bail of 200,000 yuan, Deputy Director of Civil Affairs Wu Junyi paid bail of 300,000 yuan, and Director of Civil Affairs Ming Liangzhen was detained and forbidden to see him on suspicion of colluding and destroying evidence. The prosecution believes that the household administration organ has exceeded its statutory authority and illegally checked the roster of proposers. The Hualien County government emphasized administration according to law and denied violating the law. The council held a special meeting, and the household administration officer said that he was only entrusted by the election committee to check his identity, and did not violate the rules, and the case was pending judicial clarification. News Highlights: Lu Jinya, a Chinese internet celebrity, had his residence permit revoked for advocating military reunification with Taiwan, and first protested to the Ministry of the Interior on the 25th, and appeared at Songshan Airport in the evening, and finally agreed to leave the country and fly to Fuzhou. After arriving in China, she was surrounded by a group of mysterious people wearing masks, and the live broadcast was blocked. Chinese netizens sneered at her, leaving a message "Welcome back to the abyss," and even preparing eggs to greet her, which caused heated discussions among netizens on both sides of the strait. News Highlights: the Taipei District Court sentenced 4 Taiwanese soldiers who leaked secrets to the CCP to prison terms ranging from 5 years and 10 to 7 years, deprived of public power for 5 to 6 years, and recovered a total of 1.84 million yuan in illegal gains. Since 2022, the 4 people have used their mobile phones to remake secret documents in the army and handed them over to CCP intelligence workers for profit. Lai Kongyu and others successively recruited colleagues to join, and even tried to expand recruitment. The Beijing Procuratorate closed the net in August last year, and 4 people were taken into custody and forbidden to see each other, and the whole case was sentenced in March this year, and all of them pleaded guilty. News Highlights: Yang Qbi is rumored to be in love with building materials Xiao Kai Jeremy. The 2 parties met because of Chen Haiqiang's wedding. Jeremy went to Canada to study, and she is divorced and has children. However, Yang Qbi has solemnly denied it, criticized the media for fabricating false reports, affecting her life with her relatives and friends, and said that if there are any more false reports in the future, she will not rule out filing a lawsuit to defend her rights and interests. News Highlights: actor Wu Wanjun was subjected to domestic violence by Zhao Junya, and the injury has been examined and sued, and the case has entered the judicial process. In a statement, she stressed that violence should not be tolerated, hoped that victims would be brave enough to seek help, and pleaded with the outside world to give it space. Zhao Junya admitted in an interview that he did it, expressed regret and was willing to bear the consequences, and frankly admitted that the relationship between the two could not continue. News Highlights: the death of the late South Korean actress Kim Se-ryan made waves again, and her ex-boyfriend K came forward to cry out for Kim So-hyun, saying that the cause of her death had nothing to do with debt, and the real fuse was the domestic violence of the New York man and the indifference of his family. Kay accused the New York man of violence against Kim Sa-Iran after marriage, controlling her social accounts, leaving her physically and mentally exhausted, and even self-harming many times. In addition, Kay also broke the news that Kim Sa-Iran was estranged from his family, and his family did not visit him when he was injured and hospitalized. After this incident was exposed, public opinion continued to ferment, and the truth still needs to be further clarified. News highlights: Lu Jinya, the mainland Spoustuyan internet celebrity Yaya, left Taiwan last night and sparked heated discussions after arriving in Fuzhou. Although she said that it was to avoid the illegal record from affecting her rights and interests in returning to Taiwan to visit relatives and defend her in the future, her high-level pickup battle when she returned to the mainland caused speculation among mainland netizens. Many people questioned whether she had anything to do with the system, and some even jokingly called her Abyss a code name. Many people are concerned about her movements in Fuzhou and whether she will return to Taiwan to appear in court again in the future. News highlights: South Korea's cheerleading queen Lian Shivan joined Lottie Girl this year, and became the three pillars of Korean nationality with Woo So-han and Ha Ji-won, which attracted the attention of fans. However, she was suddenly transferred to the hospital yesterday, 25th, which led to the temporary cancellation of the event, causing fans to worry. News highlights: after the death of Korean star Kim Sa-Iran, controversy continued. YouTuber broke the news that she was married, and the family denied it, but her husband made a public marriage application yesterday, 25, confirming that the two had married in the United States in January 2025, and said that they divorced by agreement due to distance and personality incompatibility. Netizens questioned that the document was only an application, and Kim Sa-Iran had changed his name in 2024, which contradicted the statement that he changed his name after marriage. The incident continued to ferment, and the family, the media, and the husband insisted on their own words, and the truth was confusing. News highlights: stand-up actor Kwon Lee Cholak, was absent from the special performance on March 15, and the organizers failed to contact him, and confirmed on the 17th that he passed away at home at the age of 32. Jang Shuoxiu, the director of Comedy, recalled the discovery process and confirmed the bad news because of the help of a neighbor to open the door. He lamented the collective melancholy in the circle and promised to reproduce the special works of Kwon Lee. The farewell ceremony will be held on March 29, and a commemorative party will be held on April 19, details of which are yet to be announced. News highlights: South Korean actor Kim So-hyun cancelled his scheduled visit to Taiwan on March 30 to participate in the 2025 Kaohsiung Cherry Blossom Season Music Festival due to the turmoil with Kim Se-ron. The Taiwan side said that it was due to itinerary adjustments, while the South Korean side pointed to security considerations, and the two sides said inconsistently. The organizers announced that same-day tickets are fully refundable, and ticket holders can still enjoy free admission, and the refund process will be processed from 10 a.m. on March 31. News highlights: 33-year-old actor Ko Tae-woo suddenly announced his retirement from the entertainment industry today, 25, ending his 10-year career as an actor, and frankly said that he has no regrets and will pursue a diversified life. He has starred in works such as Doluo Continent and Dragon Babu, attracting the support of fans on both sides of the strait. Gao Tae-I revealed that in recent years, he has invested in clothing brands and Western restaurants to enjoy a simple life. The spotlight in the entertainment industry is dizzying, and I want to step out of the camera and feel the warmth of the real sun, he said. He also emphasized that in the future, he will explore the world and live his true self. News highlights: the goddess Wu Wanjun at 8 o'clock was shocked to be subjected to domestic violence by Zhao Junya, with multiple injuries all over her body, and was officially filed on the 25th. The incident occurred in the early morning of the 13th, at Zhao Junya's residence in Xinbei Zhanghe. Wu Wanjun's injuries included bruises on her forehead, red, swollen and broken skin on her lips, and scratches on her neck. Zhao Junya admitted to the violence and posted repentance on IG. I regret and shame that I hurt the person who loves me the most. The police confirmed that the entire case was sent on suspicion of assault and assisted in applying for a protective order. News highlights: Yaya, Lu Jinya, an internet celebrity in China, was revoked by the Immigration Bureau for advocating military reunification, and returned to China on the evening of the 25th, attracting a large number of people to see him off. In addition, the right of abode was also revoked by Zhongpei Xiaoyi and Enkai for similar remarks, and the Immigration Department has ordered them to leave the country before March 31, emphasizing that if they do not leave the country within the time limit, they will be forced to leave the country in accordance with the law, showing a firm law enforcement attitude. To date, no application has been received. News highlights: the prosecution investigated the gambling and money laundering case of the Kyushu Gaming Group, and arrested President Chen Zhenggu and former senior official of the Criminal Bureau Lin Mingzuo. The Taichung District People's Court originally ruled that Chen should pay 200 million yuan and Lin 12 million yuan in bail, which caused concern. The Taichung High Court found that the ruling was flawed, formally revoked the bail decision, and remanded the case to the local court for retrial. Lin Mingzuo was detained on May 3, 2024, on suspicion of leaking secrets, and has not been released for 319 days. News highlights: Lin Jiakai, the weather anchor of Mint, is deeply loved by the audience for his professional and cordial style. Recently, he recorded a special video to cheer for his 82-year-old fans in the intensive care unit and wish him a speedy recovery. The granddaughter said that her grandfather smiled happily when he saw it and was transferred to a general ward, and her family was very moved. Lin Jiakai's heartwarming gesture once again showed his pro-people and warm image. News highlights: on the 25th, the Kuomintang legislators did not show up to show their support, but took the opportunity to raid the Legislative Yuan in the evening, and quickly passed 2 referendums within 10 minutes, including opposing the abolition of the death penalty and restricting the prohibition of emergency orders for 2 years. This move aroused dissatisfaction among the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, which bitterly criticized the bill on taking advantage of the chaos to smuggle immigrants, questioned that the National Assembly had become unbalanced, and Taiwan's internal political offensive in defense continued to heat up. News highlights: Zheng Qiuqian caused controversy because of his support for Huang Zijiao's comeback, not only losing his endorsement, but also losing the opportunity to host. He was scheduled to attend a press conference today, but was temporarily absent due to tonsil inflammation and a severe cold. Artist Wu Qixian said in an interview that Zheng Qiuqian still cares about public welfare and explained that the donation ceremony will be done. News highlights: U.S. tariffs on copper imports could be imposed within weeks, driving copper prices to a record high of $5.3740 per pound. First Copper, 2009, rose 8% intraday, and wire and cable stocks such as Warong, 1608, and Dia, 1609, rose simultaneously. The market expects that the supply of copper is tight. The U.S. import tariff policy will be good for related industries. The first copper operation prospect is optimistic. Warong is also driven by the domestic power grid plan. The order is sufficient, and the production capacity plan is clear. News highlights: NVIDIA RTX 50 series laptop chips are launched, driving AI PC penetration. Gigabyte, 2376, aims at the AI PC market, and has launched 3 series of laptops, including gaming, creator, and national machine, and developed GIMATE software to optimize the user experience through voice control, haptics, and vision. RTX 5090 laptop went on sale on March 31st, with a pre-order rate of more than 50% and a price of more than 130,000 yuan. Gigabyte emphasizes the advantages of on-premise AI, creating an IUI user interface and integrating open-source tools such as Hugging Face to improve the flexibility of use. The RTX 50 series notebooks were launched in the second quarter, and the legal entity is optimistic about the growth of notebook sales. News highlights: yesterday, 25th, the Legislative Yuan once again detonated a fierce conflict between the government and the opposition because of the anti-abolition of death and anti-martial law referendum proposed by the Kuomintang caucus. The DPP caucus summoned KG Unming to knock on the table to protest, and the crutch broke and hit Kuomintang legislator Su Qiuqian, causing the other party to be injured and posted an injury report, stating that he would file a complaint. The Kuomintang criticized the DPP for boycotting the deliberations, while the DPP maintained that the voting time had exceeded the meeting schedule. The issue of the determination of the meeting time caused controversy, and the Green camp went straight to the president's office to ask for an explanation, and the confrontation between the government and the opposition continued to heat up. News highlights: Yaya, a Chinese spouse, took a flight to leave China yesterday, 25th, evening within the repatriation deadline, hugging her family before leaving, and it was difficult to hide her reluctance. Although the residence permit for relatives has been revoked and cannot be reapplied for 5 years, you can still return to Taiwan through a reunion or family visit visa. Yaya expressed regret at the airport, saying that she had been deported before the protest process was completed. News highlights: speaking at the White House about the April 2 tariffs, U.S. President Donald Trump said he had set a fair tariff on foreign goods imported into the United States. News highlights: a medical violence incident occurred in the intensive care unit of Chichanggung Hospital yesterday morning, and a family member misunderstood the nurse's bad attitude due to a bad phone call, angrily attacked the hospital and pulled with the nurse, resulting in the nurse's injury. The police then found the family in the parking lot and informed the case that the nurse had examined the injuries and filed a complaint, and the family involved was afraid of facing medical law and other public prosecutions. News highlights: Trump asked allies to increase their real intentions in military spending and analyze their strategic context. With numbers as his central focus, Trump believes that the United States bears too much of the burden of military spending and puts pressure on NATO and Asian allies. Experts pointed out that the future strategy of the United States will focus on the Indo-Pacific region. Due to the increasing threat from China, the Trump administration's burden-reducing thinking-oriented strategy will shrink, but will still maintain a military presence in the region to ensure U.S. hegemony. News highlights: U.S. President Donald Trump's plan to impose tariffs on semiconductor imports has led companies to pull goods ahead of schedule, which may affect demand in the second half of the year. Analysts at Susquehanna pointed out that orders in the chip industry have moved sharply to the first quarter, and if sales are not enhanced, it may affect growth in the second half of 2025. Tariff uncertainty has affected the operation of chip companies. Intel and other companies have adjusted their forecasts, and the iShares Semiconductor ETF has fallen 5% this year. News highlights: Yaya, a Chinese spouse, was revoked because of his remarks on military reunification on Douyin, and left Taiwan for Fuzhou last night. Zhongpei Xiaoyi and Kai were also given a deadline to leave the country by March 31 for similar remarks, otherwise they would be forcibly repatriated. The Immigration Department stressed that openly advocating military reunification has crossed the line of freedom of speech, and that it has strictly enforced the law in accordance with the law to safeguard national security and social stability. News highlights: large-scale wildfires have recently broken out in southeastern South Korea, including South Gyeongsang Province and North Gyeongsang Province, which have burned more than 14,000 hectares of land, resulting in the evacuation of thousands of people, damage to landmarks such as the 1,000-year-old Temple Unnaksa Temple and Gyeun Temple, and the fire is even closer to the World Heritage Site of Hoho Village. Strong winds have fueled the fires, and the government has designated the southeast as a disaster area and is fully engaged in firefighting and disaster relief. Preliminary investigation revealed that the fire may be related to the use of fire or welding sparks during tomb sweeping during the Qingming dynasty. News highlights: according to the 2025 National Security Index released by the global database website Numbeo, Taiwan ranks 4th out of nearly 150 countries and regions, behind Andorra, the United Arab Emirates and Qatar. Taiwan scored 82.9 points, ahead of Singapore, 9th, and Japan, 10th. Venezuela is the most dangerous country in the world with a score of 19.3. Numbeo emphasizes that rankings are based on user feedback and may differ from official statistics. News highlights: on the 20th, the Taipei District Court first interrogated former chairman of the People's Party Kai Wen's for the case involving Jinghua City and political donations. Huang Qiukang, chairman of the People's Party, revealed that during the trial, lawyer Kai Wen's asked the prosecutor which law he alleged to have violated, and the prosecutor was stunned on the spot, and the judge even helped ease his cheeks, causing controversy. Huang Qiukang criticized that the case has been detained for 7 months, and the indictment has been completed, but the prosecutor cannot give a clear answer. The incident sparked heated discussions on the internet, and many netizens questioned the legitimacy and judicial fairness of the accusations. News highlights: in January and February 2025, the winning numbers of the Unified Invoice will be announced, and there will be a total of 5/10 millions of winners in Taiwan, distributed in supermarkets such as Chuanlian, 7-Eleven, and Family Mart. In addition, there are 3 winners of the 2 million special prize, who won the exclusive award of 1 million yuan for cloud invoices with a minimum payment of only 7 yuan. The Ministry of Finance looks back at the history of the Uniform Invoice, noting that its founder, Ren Xiankan, introduced the system in 1950, which successfully increased tax revenue, prevented tax evasion, and promoted economic development. With the advancement of science and technology, invoices have developed from paper to electronic, and the paperless invoicing system has been promoted. News highlights: today and tomorrow, 26th and 27th, the whole Taiwan will be sunny and hot, with a high temperature of 34 or 35 degrees, and a large temperature difference between day and night. On Friday, 28th, the surface arrived, and there was localized heavy rain in the north of the central part. Cold air moved southward, and the weather cooled down, and it turned to wet and cold weather from Friday to Sunday, 30th. From next Monday to Wednesday, 31 to April 2nd, the cold air will weaken, and North Taiwan will still be wet. On the first day of the Qingming holiday, 3rd, there was rain in the north, and the weather changed on the 4th, and it was sunny and stable in various places. The weather will still need to be watched next weekend. News highlights: recently, a fraud syndicate pretended to be the Ministry of Finance's electronic invoice integration service platform and sent fraudulent emails falsely claiming that the vehicle was abnormal, tricking them into clicking on the fake website and entering personal information such as credit cards, for fear of being stolen. The Ministry of Finance reminds that the URL of the government website ends with Government TW, will not ask for credit card information. If you find a suspicious link, do not click or enter personal information to avoid harm. If you have any questions, you can check the official website, https://www.invoice.nat.governmenttw, or call the 165 anti-deception hotline for help. News highlights: 46-year-old actor Zhao Junya broke out domestic violence again, beating his girlfriend Wu Wanjun, and the injury was exposed after 12 days. He publicly apologized, emphasizing that Wu was not a third party, and expressed remorse. However, this is not the first case. He served 16 months in prison for assaulting his girlfriend in the United States in 2002, drunk violence in 2015, and was also accused by his ex-girlfriend surnamed Wang in 2021. The record of repeated violence has hit his image hard, and he gradually faded out of the showbiz. Ex-girlfriend Li Yan did not respond to this and focused on family life. News highlights: a plane crash occurred near Saint-Dizier Air Base in eastern France on March 25, when two Alpha jets collided and crashed during aerobatic training. One crashed into a concrete company silo and caused a fire, and the other crashed into the canal. Fortunately, 2 pilots and 1 passenger on board successfully ejected and escaped, and they were conscious. The fire brigade quickly extinguished the fire, and the injured were taken to hospital for treatment, with no civilian casualties on the ground. News highlights: Nantou has been plagued by frequent mountain disasters in recent days, and 4 people unfortunately died, among which the mountain friend surnamed Chen, who was killed alone on the west peak of Hehuan, was confirmed to be the moderator of the Facebook Fan Outdoor Equipment Research Institute, which made many mountain friends mourn. The well-known photographer Shui Yang posted a message of condolences, thanking Chen Nan for his contribution to the outdoor equipment circle, and reminding climbers to pay attention to alpine climate knowledge. Chen Nan's last post mentioned that the low temperature and snowfall exceeded expectations, which is embarrassing. News highlights: Liu Pei internet celebrity Yi was revoked by the Immigration Department for revoking her permission to rely on relatives for making remarks on military reunification, and left Taiwan on the evening of the 25th, causing heated discussions on both sides of the strait. Chinese netizens paid attention to the pickup situation on Douyin and Weibo, but many live broadcast rooms were blocked. Weibo Taiwan Strait Moment posted a video of Yi saying goodbye to her family, but the message function was turned off. Douyin netizens reacted differently to the incident, some were sarcastic, and some tried to live broadcast but were frequently banned. News highlights: 8 o'clock actress Wu Wanjun was shocked to be subjected to domestic violence by her boyfriend Zhao Junya. In the early morning of the 13th, Zhao was dissatisfied with Wu and his friends gathering for dinner and wine, and the two quarreled in the parking lot. After the police accepted the case, Zhao was notified to come to the case, and on the 21st, Zhao had explained and was sent to the investigation by letter. Wu Wanjun confirmed that the two dated in July last year, during which they were emotionally blackmailed, which eventually led to domestic violence. Zhao Junya confessed to doing it and issued a statement apologizing, saying that he had betrayed Wu's trust and love. News highlights: Wu Wanjun admitted on the 25th that during her 8-month relationship with Zhao Junya, she continued to suffer verbal violence, emotional blackmail, and finally domestic violence, which attracted attention. After making a statement, she still couldn't sleep in the early morning of the 26th, and responded to netizens' posts on Threads, expressing her low mood with a heartbreak emoji. Wu Wanjun said that she had tried to help Zhao control her emotions, but after suffering violence, she decided not to condone it, emphasizing that the abuser should be punished, and also hoped to give a little strength to people who had similar experiences. News highlights: according to the latest TVBS poll, 41% of the public support last national security policy, 34% do not support it, and 25% have no opinion. With regard to cross-strait relations, 40% of the people are satisfied with the government's performance, while 45% are dissatisfied. As for future developments, only 5% believe it will get better, 41% think it will get worse, an increase of 7 percentage points from last year, and another 41% think it will be about the same. The survey interviewed 1,050 people, with a sampling error of plus or minus 3.0 percentage points, indicating that people tend to be pessimistic about cross-strait relations. News highlights: Tong Ziwei, chairman of the Keelung City Council, said in an exclusive interview that he is currently focusing on the duties of the speaker and is committed to coordinating the municipal supervision work, and has not responded positively to whether to run for mayor of Keelung. He stressed that the most important thing at this stage is to lead the DPP city councillors to deepen Keelung's cultivation and win the recognition of the public. News highlights: physician Du Chenj questioned the incident of Liu Pei's internet celebrity Yi leaving the stage, believing that she was not a simple personal act, but cooperated with Chinese acting. He pointed out that if Yi really attaches importance to her family, she should leave Taiwan in a low-key manner and then apply for a family visit visa, rather than making high-profile speeches to increase the difficulty of entering Taiwan. She is behind the United Front work with the Taiwan International Family Mutual Aid Association, which has pushed for Chinese to participate in politics in Taiwan more quickly. Du Chenj warned that Yi may be an officially appointed United Front executive, and similar incidents may be staged one after another, reminding the community about the risk of Chinese infiltration. News highlights: in a tragedy in Colorado, USA, 76-year-old demented woman Hoff was bitten to death while living alone with 54 pet dogs. The police investigation found that she lived with her daughter Jessica, and that her pets in the home lacked care and some of them were in poor health. On the day of the incident, Jessica went out shopping and failed to carry out 24-hour supervision, resulting in her mother being attacked and killed by dogs. Jessica was charged with manslaughter and 54 counts of animal cruelty, and the case has raised eyebrows. News highlights: Zhang Anil, the elder of the Bamboo Union Gang, was suspected of choosing the Kong Yuan restaurant of the Legislative Yuan to hold a banquet yesterday, 25, and it was rumored that a new gang leader would be elected. After receiving information, the executive branch and the Legislative Yuan urgently requested the restaurant to close. Interior Minister Liu Shifang said on the 26th that because the heads of the executive agencies and the heads of the legislature were in the Legislative Yuan at that time, they thought that the move was inappropriate to damage the country's image and interact with the legislation and the executive. It is reported that after the DPP cadres KG Unming and Wu Saiyeo reported, Zhou Rongta, the premier, ordered the cancellation of reservations, and the police immediately asked the Legislative Yuan to control the business of restaurants and the passage of people and vehicles. News Highlights senior host Zheng Qiuchen has been controversial recently, first accused of humiliating the body by a female graduate of BI, and then resigned from One Word of Gold because of the gaffe turmoil of Huang Zijiao's comeback. Subsequently, Tao Jingying broke the news that she had been drunken and tried to forcibly kiss her, which caused a heavy setback to her image. On the 26th, he was scheduled to attend the press conference of the golf charity tournament, but he was temporarily absent due to illness. Artists Pei Zhen, Xiao Zhen, and others are concerned but reluctant to talk about it, and producer Wang Weishong responded in a low-key manner, emphasizing the ups and downs of the entertainment industry. News Highlights: the Bamboo Union gang held a dinner party at the First Hotel yesterday, 25, evening, although the elders denied choosing the gang leader, but today it is rumored that the new gang leader is the former Detang master Zhongkui Li Zongkui. It is reported that Zhang Anil will hold a press conference to announce the matter, and Li Zongkui will also quit the party, in line with the last wish of the former gang leader Huang Xiaosan to succeed the gang leader and not be involved in politics. In addition, Li Zongkui will follow the collegial agreement of the gang and will be replaced by Lu Zhenyi's as the gang leader in 2 years. The police said that no matter who is elected, they will continue to pay attention to the investigation.